So hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. So in today's video I want to talk about the book that probably all of you have heard about. Literally, if you don't know what this book is, you're probably living under a rock because everyone is talking about it. And of course, the book I'm talking about is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So I've read this book actually like a week and a half ago, but of course I only started my booktube channel a week ago. So I still really want to talk about this book and give you like my opinion about it and a little review. So I'll try to avoid spoilers as much as possible, and if I decide to talk about some spoilers I will let you know, so don't worry about that. Okay, so It Ends With Us is a story about Lily Bloom, which moves to Boston after finishing college, and her dream is to open her own flower shop. So one night Lily meets a really attractive guy named Ryle, and from there like the real story begins. So Ryle is like your dream book love interest. He's super attractive, determined, he's a neurosurgeon. So he's like this rich, super attractive man, and he and Lily like immediately have so much chemistry. But the thing about Ryle is that he's only interested in one night stands. He doesn't want any real relationship, and Lily on the other hand is all about the true eternal love. So one night stands doesn't really interest her. Okay, so from this point like their love story begins, and Ryle literally has such a soft spot for Lily, and it was so interesting to read about their relationship evolving. So there's a third like pretty important character, and his name is Atlas. So Atlas was Lily's teenage years love interest, and we have all of those journal entries about him that Lily just reads at the present while she's in a relationship with Ryle. And then one day she actually meets Atlas in Boston, and from this point the things kind of begin to go downwards. And I'm not going to tell you what happens, of course, because I don't want to spoil anything, but if you read this book, guys, prepare for emotional damage. Like, this book absolutely destroyed my heart. And it got me into like a week's reading slump after that, because I couldn't read any other book because it just didn't live up to this. So my thoughts about this book, I think it's honestly great. When I first started reading it, I thought like, oh, is this another sappy romance novel? Because I'm not a fan of those. But this book is so much more than that. The writing is absolutely beautiful. It is told from the first perspective, so basically we learn so much about Lily, her thoughts, her life experiences, which are honestly pretty hard. And I think we can learn so much from this book. For example, things like you can't judge a person's choices when you haven't been in his place, or how to make the right decision in very hard situations. I think everyone should read this book at least once in their lives because it's really, really good. I rated it 5 stars, of course. Of course, I loved it. I literally loved it. So yeah, if you haven't read this book, I really recommend it. And it was my first Colleen Hoover's book actually. I haven't read any of her other books, but honestly I think she's a great author and I'm so excited to read more of her books. Okay, now this is the part where you should exit the video if you haven't read It Ends With Us, because I'm gonna talk about some spoilers here. I just have to. So if you haven't read this book, then thank you for watching this part, and I hope you enjoy reading it. Okay, so I just have to talk more in depth about this book and like all the love interest and stuff like that. So honestly, I was really quite sad because BookTok actually spoiled this book for me. Like, I knew Ryle wasn't the good guy and he was going to hurt Lily. I didn't really know how that was going to happen, but I just knew like he was the bad guy. Well, not really the bad guy, but I knew something was not good with him and their relationship wouldn't end well. So I had this bad feeling about Ryle from the beginning, so I think that my experience was a bit ruined because everyone falls in love with Ryle and then they figure out that he is actually hurting Lily, And you know, it's part of the emotional damage of this book, I guess. So I was Team Atlas from the beginning. Honestly, their love story and their relationship was so wholesome and so cute. I absolutely love him. He's such a great guy and such a great guide for Lily. He's like super protective, super respectful. He would do literally anything for her, and that is just so amazing. So I'm so glad they ended up together. Now Ryle. That was a good emotional damage, you know? Because Lily saw her dad abusing her mom, and now she ended up in the same situation as her, and she began to understand why it was so hard for her mom to leave her dad. It was so emotionally heartbreaking to read. Insane. But I'm so glad Lily managed to make the right choice, because I was so scared for her. Like, the moment Ryle hurt her, I was like, baby, run. Like, run so fast. You're not worth him, like, you're worth so much more than him. And then she gave him a second chance and a third chance, and I was like, Lily, what are you doing? But I'm so glad she managed to make the right choice, even if it was so hard for her. Speaking about Lily, I actually really adored her character. I think she was a great main character because she's just so strong, and I believe she inspires so many women who might be going through the same thing. So yeah, I love Lily. She is great, and I loved Lily and Atlas's relationship. I'm so glad they ended up together. Like, that quote, if you fall in love with someone else, fall in love with me. Oh my god. Like, Atlas literally has my heart. So yeah, I really can't say any negative things about this book. I loved honestly everything about it, and it just affected me so deeply that I immediately gave it 5 stars and didn't overthink it. So yeah, I would really recommend reading this. And if you read this book, please comment your opinion down below. Like, I'm so excited to hear what you guys think about this book. So yeah, I guess that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, join our little family, and I'll see you next week. Bye!